how long before TNA became a thing did you first hear of the project, and when were you approached?
That was, I mean, I guess it would have been the first day. We did two tapings the first day. The first taping, I was in the Gauntlet for the Gold match. Excuse me. I think Storm had a tag team match, and then for the second taping, right away they had an idea. I think they were obviously very interested in us for us to even get that position, but I think they wanted to sign us, or we were signed, but they wanted to do something with us. They just didn't have any idea what to do. There were so many moving parts in the beginning there. They had to focus a lot on the stars that they were able to get for this, and then obviously wanted to bring up some new younger stars as well, and they had to concentrate on that. The X division was new at the time, so they were really focusing on some stars to build around that, but they also had to focus on the tag team situation, and they had the idea to put us together, and I think it was honestly, I can't say I ever was told this, but I think it was the idea of we want these guys, let's just throw them together and see what happens.
Mm.
And that's when you get Storm and myself, we get our minds together and we're like, hey, if this is the opportunity that we've been given, then let's run with it. Let's take it as far as we can take it and really make a name for ourselves. So I think it was really that simple in the beginning.
It's funny how many great tag teams are made up of just two guys who they can't quite figure out what to do with them. And they put them together and say, well, let's see what happens.
I think that, honestly, I think that happened later on too with Beer Money. Both Storm and Bobby Roode were well established in TNA, but I think that was at a position where, hey, we got to do something with these guys. You can't let them go. They're hugely talented. And I think it was one of those, they put them together. And I mean, I've heard that from both those guys, where it was like, okay, well, let's see what we can get out of them as a tag team. And they were both smart enough to really run with it. And, look at how exciting and big Beer Money became.
With TNA, how much credence did you give to the idea that TNA was going to be a long-term thing, really? I mean, the first shows you got to, did you look around and think, is this just going to be another gig like so many others? Because there have been all these little upstarts, like Hulk Hogan had like Excitement Wrestling Federation, there was a hardcore XPW, I think, out west somewhere, WWA, which was an Australian
Yeah.
pay-per-view. It seemed to just be running big events on pay-per-view with Buff Bagwell and Jarrett as well. I mean, how with TNA, I mean, did you think it was going to be successful at all?
Well, when I was first approached with it, that may have been in the back of my mind. I think in the back of a lot of people's minds, because there were so many in that year or so after WCW. There was a lot of things trying to get off the ground, and that had tried and failed. I was a part, a couple of them. So yeah, when you hear about this new group out of Nashville coming around, of course, in the back of your mind, you're like, well, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but let's take it and run with it as far as we can. Um, and I was going to be one of the key players in that, so I was willing to make a run for it. I mean, how long? I don't know, because even in those early days, you hear the rumblings of, they're going to go out of business. They won't be in business next week or next month. I mean, that was constant. And it almost got to the point where you hear it so much, it's like, screw you guys, we're going to make this work. And then it doesn't become, hey, I'm just one of the many that's part of this. It becomes where, hey, this is my company now. I'm going to throw everything I can to make this thing work. Because we got all these doubters out there that are just so negative about it. And there were some, financial difficulties in the early days, but any upstart company will have that unless you have a millionaire backing you. So, there were some struggles there, but I mean, you can hear all the stories you want, but I mean, it goes to show you that TNA was supposed to be here, because we went through a lot of struggles in the early days and came out ahead on top. So, in the future. So, yeah, there was a lot of different struggles, but we were 100% on board and wanted to do whatever we could do as far as our part goes.